The town of Willow Creek was once a picture of tranquility. Nestled amidst the towering pines and winding rivers of the Pacific Northwest, it was a place where life moved at a slower pace. Neighbors knew each other by name, children played freely in the streets, doors were left unlocked, but beneath the idyllic facade, a darkness lurked. An undercurrent of fear ran through the town's history, whispered in hushed tones and passed down through generations. Willow Creek held secrets, buried deep within its roots. Stories of unexplained disappearances, strange occurrences, and unsettling encounters in the surrounding woods were woven into the fabric of its being. Locals spoke of a presence that haunted the woods, a malevolent entity that watched from the shadows. These tales were dismissed by some as mere folklore, the product of overactive imaginations and long dark nights. But for those who had lived in Willow Creek long enough, the stories held a chilling ring of truth. They knew that some secrets were best left buried, and some truths were too terrifying to face. The year was 1998. The town was about to confront its demons. Emily Carter was the epitome of small-town innocence. At 17, her spirit burned bright, illuminating the lives of everyone she touched. She possessed an infectious laugh, a kind heart, and an unquenchable thirst for adventure. Photography was her passion, a way to capture the beauty she saw in the world, both ordinary and extraordinary. The woods surrounding Willow Creek were her sanctuary, a place where she felt most alive. She would spend hours exploring its hidden trails, her camera, her constant companion. But her adventurous spirit would soon lead her down a path she never intended to take. On June 14, 1998, Emily clocked out from her shift at the local diner, her camera bag slung over her shoulder. She bid farewell to her co-workers, promising to see them soon. It was a promise she wouldn't keep. Emily's usual route home took her along the edge of the woods, a path she knew like the back of her hand. But on this night, something was different. A sense of unease settled over her as she walked, a feeling that she was being watched. As days turned into weeks, the search for Emily intensified. Flyers bearing her picture were plastered on every surface imaginable. Telephone poles, shop windows, car windshields. Volunteers combed the woods relentlessly, their hope dwindling with each passing hour. The once peaceful town was now gripped by fear and uncertainty. The idyllic facade of Willow Creek had crumbled, revealing the darkness that had always lurked beneath the surface. The whispers grew louder, carrying on the wind that swept through the trees. Then, a chilling discovery breathed new life into the investigation. Emily's camera, caked in mud and leaves, was found abandoned on the banks of Hollow Creek, a serpentine river that snaked its way through the heart of the woods. The camera held the key to unlocking the mystery of Emily's disappearance. But the truth it contained was far more disturbing than anyone could have imagined. The discovery of Emily's camera sent a collective shiver down the spines of Willow Creek's residents. It was a tangible link to the missing girl, a beacon of hope in the overwhelming darkness. The police worked meticulously, their every move followed by anxious eyes. They hoped the camera held the answers they sought. As each image flickered onto the screen, unease settled over the team. The first few photos were classic Emily vibrant, full of life, a playful squirrel pausing mid-leap on a moss-covered log. But as they delved deeper, the tone shifted. Gone were the bright colors and cheerful subjects. In their place were darker, more menacing woods. The sunlight was now almost completely obscured, casting long, ominous shadows. And then they came to the final 3 photographs. The penultimate image sent a collective gasp around the room. It was a blurry, almost indiscernible image of a figure partially hidden amongst the trees. The figure was tall and slender, almost skeletal in its appearance, but the details were impossible to make out. Had Emily captured her stalker on film? Was this the key to finding her? The final image was the most unsettling of all. It was entirely black, the digital equivalent of a void staring back at them. Had Emily covered the lens, or had something or someone forced her to? The questions hung heavy in the air, unanswered and deeply unsettling. News of the photographs spread through Willow Creek like wildfire, fanning the flames of fear that had been steadily growing since Emily's disappearance. The whispers that had once been confined to the shadows grew louder, bolder. Theories, both plausible and outlandish, circulated through the town, each more unsettling than the last. Some clung to the hope that Emily had simply run away, that the shadowy figure in the photo was just a hiker, a harmless passerby. But deep down, a primal fear took root in the hearts of many. They knew, in the deepest recesses of their beings, that something was terribly wrong. The woods, once a source of solace and tranquility, were now viewed with suspicion and dread. The laughter of children, once a common sound in Willow Creek, was replaced by an unsettling silence. Parents held their children a little closer, their eyes scanning the tree line with a mixture of apprehension and fear. The town held its breath, caught in the grip of a mystery that seemed to tighten its hold with each passing day. A town meeting was called, the air thick with a palpable tension. Sheriff Davis, his face etched with fatigue and frustration, stood before the assembled crowd. He laid out the facts as they knew them. Emily's disappearance, the discovery of her camera, the chilling contents of its memory card. But the answers they sought remained elusive. The investigation continued, but the trail was growing colder with each passing day. The townspeople listened intently, their faces a mixture of hope and despair. They wanted answers, but more importantly, they wanted Emily back. Days turned into weeks, and still, there was no sign of Emily Carter. Hope, once a flickering flame, dwindled with each passing sunset. The town of Willow Creek, once a symbol of peace and tranquility, was now shrouded in a cloak of fear and uncertainty. The mystery of Emily's disappearance had left an indelible mark, a scar on the soul of the community. And in the shadows, hidden from the prying eyes of the town, something watched and waited. The woods held their secrets close, their silence a haunting symphony of the unknown. But for those who dared to listen, a faint whisper could be heard on the wind, a whisper that spoke of ancient evils and unspeakable horrors. The mystery of Emily Carter was far from over, it was only just beginning. The black photo. The final image captured by Emily's camera. It became a symbol of the unknown, a stark representation of the fear that had settled over Willow Creek. The image was printed, reprinted, analyzed, dissected. Experts scrutinized every pixel, searching for a clue, a hint, anything that could lead them to Emily. But the photo remained stubbornly silent, a blank canvas upon which the fears and suspicions of the town were projected. Theories abounded, each more outlandish than the last. Some whispered of ancient curses, of malevolent spirits that roamed the woods, preying on the innocent. Others spoke of government conspiracies, secret experiments gone wrong. The rumor mill churned relentlessly, fueled by fear and a desperate need for answers. Every rustle in the wind, every creaking branch, every shadow that stretched long and ominous in the fading light was scrutinized, analyzed, imbued with sinister intent. The once familiar woods that bordered Willow Creek, once a source of comfort and recreation, were now viewed with suspicion and dread, a tangible manifestation of the town's collective fear. The townspeople retreated into themselves, their fear palpable, suffocating. Gone were the friendly greetings, the easy camaraderie that had once been a hallmark of Willow Creek. In its place was a pervasive sense of suspicion, a reluctance to trust, even amongst those who had known each other for a lifetime. The bonds that had once held the community together were fraying, threatening to unravel completely under the weight of the unspoken fear that gnawed at the edges of their hearts. Emily's disappearance was not the first in Willow Creek. Whispers of past cases resurfaced, casting long shadows over the town. The townsfolk tried to move on, but Emily's case reopened old wounds, exposing unhealed pain. Now they couldn't escape the haunting echoes of the past. Hope arrived in the most unexpected form, a dusty leather-bound journal. It belonged to Walter Grayson, a recluse who had lived in a dilapidated cabin on the outskirts of Willow Creek. Walter had kept to himself, rarely venturing into town, his solitary existence a source of endless fascination and speculation amongst the townsfolk. Some dismissed him as a harmless eccentric, a hermit content in his solitude. Others whispered of darker proclivities, of strange rituals performed under the cover of darkness. Walter had passed away several years earlier, his cabin left abandoned, reclaimed by the encroaching forest. It was during a routine sweep of the area, a desperate attempt to leave no stone unturned, that Sheriff Davis stumbled upon the journal hidden beneath a loose floorboard in the dilapidated cabin. The journal was a treasure trove of strange and unsettling entries, a glimpse into the mind of a man seemingly obsessed with the woods surrounding Willow Creek. Walter wrote of things he had seen, things he had heard, things that defied rational explanation. He described shadowy figures lurking amongst the trees, disembodied whispers carried on the wind, and a pervasive sense of being watched, hunted. Walter Grayson's words painted a disturbing picture of the woods surrounding Willow Creek. He wrote of a constant feeling of being observed, an unseen presence that moved through the trees, always just out of sight. He described a sense of dread that clung to him, even within the confines of his ramshackle cabin. His entries were filled with chilling detail, the rustling of leaves when no wind blew, the snapping of twigs underfoot that seemed to echo unnaturally through the silent woods, and the fleeting glimpses of movement at the edge of his vision, always just beyond the reach of his kerosene lamp's glow. Walter claimed that the woods were alive, not with the natural rhythm of flora and fauna, but with something ancient and malevolent. He spoke of a darkness that permeated the very soil, a presence that whispered to him in his dreams, urging him to venture deeper into the forest's embrace. He wrote of resisting the pull, of fighting against the insidious whispers that promised knowledge and power in exchange for his sanity. But his words betrayed a growing fascination with the darkness he perceived, a morbid curiosity that seemed to consume him. Each entry in his journal was a step closer to the edge of an abyss, a descent into a madness that seemed both terrifying and strangely alluring. Scattered throughout the journal were unsettling sketches, strange symbols carved into tree trunks, twisted figures formed by gnarled branches, and crude maps of the woods. Walter deciphered the locations. Sheriff Davis dismissed them as ramblings of a lonely old man in isolation. But as he read deeper, unease settled over him. The symbols felt strangely familiar, resonating with his subconscious. He was drawn back night after night, searching for a connection to Emily. Walter had found something sinister, ancient and evil beneath their town. As weeks passed, the search for Emily continued. Sheriff Davis began to believe. Walter had been trying to warn them of the darkness beyond their town that had claimed Emily. Sheriff Davis found a rusted tin box buried near Walter Grayson's cabin. Inside were items linked to Willow Creek's missing persons cases. Sheriff Davis examined the items: a locket, a pocket watch, a doll, and a book. Each item connected to a missing person. The book, filled with strange diagrams, hinted at a deeper mystery. Sheriff Davis felt the weight of these connections. The book seemed to hold the key to the disappearances. Some secrets are best left buried. The small, leather-bound book became Sheriff Davis's obsession. It spoke of a hidden clearing, a place of power and danger. Sheriff Davis recognized it as the Devil's Acre, a cursed place. He knew it held the only hope of finding Emily. Sheriff Davis assembled a search party. They ventured deep into the woods, following the book's clues. The forest seemed to warn them with strange markers and whispers, but Sheriff Davis pressed on, driven by a faint glimmer of hope. The trees parted, revealing a clearing in the cabin. The search party felt a palpable chill as they approached. Sheriff Davis pushed open the cabin door, revealing darkness and decay. They sensed they were not alone. The flashlight beams revealed a bare, defaced cabin. Sheriff Davis found Emily's name etched into the wood. A trapdoor led to a set of stairs descending into darkness. The air grew colder as they opened the trapdoor. They descended into a subterranean chamber. The stench of decay was overwhelming. They found Emily's camera bag, but no camera. Inside was a chilling artifact, a human finger bone. The cabin was demolished, but the mystery remained. Emily Carter was never found. The townsfolk knew the evil still lurked. The mystery of Emily Carter remained unsolved. Life in Willow Creek went on, but the scars remained. The woods were now viewed with suspicion. A memorial for Emily was erected by the river. The question of why lingered unanswered. Some whispered that Emily had simply run away, seeking a new life far from the confines of their small town. Others clung to the belief that she had met with an unfortunate accident, her body lost somewhere in the vast expanse of the surrounding woods. But deep down, many harbored a more unsettling suspicion that Emily had been taken, claimed by something ancient and evil that lurked in the shadows, something that defied rational explanation. The woods themselves seemed to hold their breath, their silence heavy with unspoken secrets. The whispers on the wind, once dismissed as mere figments of an overactive imagination, now carried an undeniable weight, a chilling familiarity that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to venture too close. The mystery of Emily Carter's disappearance remained unsolved, a chilling reminder that some questions have no answers, some wounds never truly heal. Life in Willow Creek went on, but it was a life forever changed, forever haunted by the specter of the unknown. And in the shadows, unseen, unheard, something ancient and evil stirred, its patience infinite, its hunger insatiable. The story of Willow Creek was far from over. If you enjoyed this tale of mystery and suspense, please leave a like and share your thoughts and theories on what happened to Emily Carter in the comments below. Your engagement helps us bring more intriguing stories to life. Thank you for watching.